ask you people, I have 1 million naira to send to anybody that can go on Google and find any time I posted a tweet or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, any defamatory whatever on Peter's wife. Please, the first person to send that thing to me on my DM will win 1 million naira.
Jude Okoye. Now you see, statement like this, that you're going to offer 1 million naira, this is where I feel pity for Paul. Guys, I can guarantee you guys, Jude, we all know. Jude, you know you use Paul as a decoy. Yes. You try to manipulate Paul to say some things online so that at the end of the day, you're not setting up Paul for dragging. Now look at what you just said. Meanwhile, look at the innocent post Ola posted to wish I and Paul happy birthday. That's Paul's response. Now look at Jude's comment underneath. There has never been a time Paul have ever had maybe a physical altercation, argument, insult, on Lola. But on Jude's side is opposite way. Jude have threatened Lola in front of Lola and myself. Jude have insulted Lola in front of me. And I wanted to hide this governor. It was actually Governor Imoke who invited us over for peace talk. And let me tell you what the man did that day. By the time we arrived, he looked at Paul. Paul started talking. Paul finished talking. He said, Jude, your turn. Jude finished talking. Let me tell you what that governor did that very day. He said, Peter, you're not going to say anything. I thought it was like a team work, like, Governor, I'm not going to say anything. Why? They've all said their own side of the story. He said, Peter, I don't think you need to say something. I said, why? He looked at me and said, Peter, Paul, if I were you guys, do you know what your problem is? It's this Jude. If I were you guys, fire him. And I said, oh. That was when Jude started saying, hey, you know what? As it is, they should tell Lola. Anyway, he says Lola, he's going to shoot her. Jude, you have so many times, countless times, insulted Lola in front of me, in front of people, in front of saying that tata. In fact, I don't want to even say this now. What if I tell you guys that Jude have insulted my son? Jude called my son a bastard in front of me and Lola. And yes, I will tell you guys this short story. Maybe I wanted to hide it. Some years back, when my girlfriend then Lola was pregnant, I didn't want the news to break me. I decided to break the news. Because then, there was too many baby mama of so celebrity, baby mama, so celebrity gave birth, so celebrity impregnated. I didn't want that to happen to me. We went for a Sound City Awards. We won 3 awards that day. When we were leaving the venue, the paparazzi, the media people gathered us. Of course, we held the awards. We were having more like an interview. Next thing I did was, they said, well, who are we dedicating the awards? I picked up the first award. I said, this award is for God, I am Almighty, I praise God with that one. Second award, I said, I dedicate this award to the fans and to everyone who has supported us. The last one, I say, this one is for the mother of my unborn child and my incoming son. Next thing, Paul and Jude walked away from the media setting. They picked the car, turned around, and entered the car. We drove. Left the venue, towards headed to 3rd Main, and Jude pulled over and said, what was that for? I said, what's the problem? Now, do you know how this thing is going to ruin our career? I said, how ruin our career? I don't want the news to break me. I decided to break the news. The last thing I want to see online, start saying, this idiot, this is that. No, once I break the news, it's no more going to be a rumor. By the time we got home in Omole, next thing I heard from Jude, she must come out that Pekin. That woman must come out that Pekin. You're talking to her. Do you know how old I was that time, Jude? I was almost 27. Nothing that Jude and Paul didn't do for Lola to take that pregnancy out. To a point, they forged an email. Jude and Paul forged an email. I'll try and trace that email. To frame Lola up. I was on my own in my room one day. Paul came to me and said, Jude send you message. I checked my phone. He said, no, not before phone. For your email. I checked. I read that email for nearly about 20 minutes. An unknown person sent an email to Jude. Jude now forwarded to me. The things I was seeing there were rubbish. Oh, that my son is not my son. According to them, that the unknown person claimed that my son is not my son. That Lola is using the child to trap me. That I don't want to name some notable names that they mention. Mention about 4 notable names. That is that either of them that got Lola pregnant. He said, you don't read that finish. I said, what you go do about her? I said, what are you expecting me to do? Peter, this thing go kill our career. Kill what career, Paul? That my girlfriend is pregnant. Kill what career, Paul? Paul left. I didn't bother. I forwarded that email to Lola. But let me take you guys back a little bit. So, we moved into Omole some years back. Almost like 16 years ago. When we moved to Omole, I was one who found the house, the duplex we were living there. Because I found the house, I have to take the master bedroom. Right? When we moved into the house, our mom came. She visited us. From Jos, she came. I greeted my mom. This was like when my son was like 5-6 months old. When my mom visited, of course, I have to give my mom the master bedroom, and I joined Paul's room. My mom didn't come alone. She came out. You all know our mom is a pastor. She came with 3 of our pastors. When my mom came, next thing I greeted my mom, I was just smiling. You know, you're expecting like a mother to be like, how is your new baby? My mom didn't ask. My mom just said, hi, Lola. I just said, she's fine. She said, can you tell her to come tomorrow? I said, okay, you want to see the baby? I'll tell her. She said, no. Let her not come with the baby. I said, Mom, why? You don't want to see the baby? She just said, no. Let her come first. My people, how do you guys expect me to call Lola? Because Lola was living on the island, we were living in Omole, mainland. How do you expect me to tell Lola, my mom wants to see you, and Lola will not come with the baby? It took me 3 hours thinking of. I had to go and meet one of the pastors. I said, is there anything? He said, no, don't worry. Your mom said you shouldn't, Lola should not come with the baby. Just leave it that way. I said, okay. And I finally got an idea. And I called Lola. Hey, babe, what's up? My mom is in town. Oh, really? And she wants to see you. She said, oh, nice. She wants to see the baby. Okay, I'm going to give the baby a bath once I get up. I said, Lola was so excited. I said, Lola, do not come with the baby. She was like, why? I said, because we fumigated the house. It's not going to be good for the baby to inhale. She said, when did we do the fumigation? I said, Even our mom is actually uncomfortable about it, but she just have to manage. So it's not good for the baby. And I said, okay. The next day, Lola came. She called me that she's at the gate. I went outside. While Lola sat in the living room, I didn't see anybody in the house. I didn't see any of my brothers, the pastors. I expect to see them in the living room where Lola was. I didn't see any of them. I just said, let me go check. And I opened the door. In that my master bedroom where my mom was, everybody was seated. Even our firstborn, the one that is older than the next person before Jude, that lives in Lagos, was there. Tony, my brother, was there. The pastors were there. Paul and Jude were there. When I came, I said, okay, Lola is around. They said, tell her to come. The way I was walking to go and call Lola, I was uncomfortable. But I didn't say anything. I brought Lola. Entered the room. That was my room. Master bedroom, which there's a bed and there's a couch. Nobody stood up to say, hey, Lola, sit down. Lola just entered. Good morning, ma. Everybody get it. Nobody even cared to say, Lola, come and sit down here or anything. Nobody. I and Lola sat on the floor in my room. I and Lola sat on the floor. Next thing my mom said, young woman, we the Okoye families here have decided you should leave our son alone. I said, Mom, what's going on? Next thing. Now, because few days before that moment, me and Lola had a little quarrel, as a couple quarrel. Lola was looking at me thinking, maybe I planned it to exit the relationship. Lola just said, babe, what's going on? I said, Lola, come on. I said, Mom, what's going on? Next thing Jude just said, leave our brother alone. I look at Jude's face. It is like Jude said, it is like carry water from mouth. I'm like, hey, can anybody? Everyone there tried to calm Jude down. Next thing, Jude just stretched his hand. Because in that my room, I have my son's picture when he was 3 months old by the side of the bed. Jude stretched his hand and picked it and looked at it. Guess what came out of Jude's mouth? For those who understand Igbo, as the way you run now, bastard. All Lola heard was bastard. Lola just said, did he just call her? Sorry, the pastor said, Lola, I was just trying to calm Lola down. Lola started crying. Guess what happened? They pushed Lola out of the house. Yes. I was trying to hold Lola. By the time I would tell Lola, stay down. Lola, calm down. Lola just opened the door. I opened the door to talk. As I opened the door, I didn't even know that Lola came with our son, with the nanny in the car. Lola still brought our son in the car. That means she was like, to her, like, okay, even if our mom, if the child cannot enter the house, her mom can come outside and see the baby in the car. That's how Lola jammed the door, zoomed off, and went back inside. Everybody have left the room, except my mom and one of the pastors. And I said to them, what have you guys done? I told Mom, did you pray before? Our mom, our mom sees vision. I won't lie to you. I asked my mom, I said, did you pray before coming? Next thing our mom said, she came to take care of the situation before she can go and pray. I looked at my mom and her face. I said, this is not right. I left. Guess where I went to? I went to a hotel nearby in Omole. I stayed there alone. For hours, I waited till a particular time. I drove, went to the island. I knocked at the last door. Knocked, she wasn't picking the phone. The cook now came. She said, Madam, don't pack her things, so come out. I said, we help her pack some bags. I didn't see Lola and my son for over 5 months. 5 months after that incident, my mom came back to Lagos, gathered everybody again, sent for me. I came, I sat down. You guys would have imagined the trauma that was going on with my brothers. We're still doing shows, doing everything together. We sat down. I sat down with everyone in the room again. Here's what happened that very day. The pastor started with the prayers, finished the prayers. And I said, Peter, what we're about to tell you, you might be disappointed. But take it that they say God works in wondrous ways. This might be one of them. As the pastor was, talking, Jude like, Jude was just hissing. But this time I was now sitting close to the table near the bed. And I said, Peter, stretch your hand, let me have your son's picture. He said, don't worry. I just stretched the same picture that Jude made that statement on. Now look at the picture. Peter, the Spirit of God said we should tell you this. That if anybody insult this boy again, if he's killed, kill that person. This is your blood. I remember I went down the floor, I started crying. By the time I opened my eyes, everyone had left the room. When everyone left the room, my mom said, why am I crying? That they just told me a good news. I told her, what's good about this news? What is good about this news? I went to the wardrobe because it's my room. I started packing my bags. And I looked at my mom's face. I told her, and I said, this thing you started, I pray you'll be alive to witness the end. I left. Went back to that same hotel. When I went to that hotel, I started communicating. Then there's a family friend of Lola who has a son that's older than my son with about a few months. So I'm always calling him, do you know where Lola is? I'll call him, say he doesn't know and all that, But sometimes when I'm talking to him, I can hear a baby crying in the background. So I wasn't, because when Cameron was born, I was not there. It was this guy that was there. You know why? Do you even know why I wasn't even there? I think, oh my God. I wasn't there when my son was born. I bought a ticket to travel to make sure I was there for my son's birth. To book the show in Akwa Ibom.